Hey folks, this is Lord Mayhair, page 3675. We're up to 1955. Erich, Pendu, Vishnu, and Nilu were about to proceed to her house to enjoy the treat on 12 March when Bao returned from the post office after dispatching the mail. They had already eaten dinner and told Bao, "We are going out for a walk. Come along." Bao accompanied them. Until a few days before, the Bondali had been forbidden to leave Rosewood. Only Vishnu went to town for purchases in the market and Savak Kotwal to the post office. But Baba then said they could go out for walks, and they began doing so in the evening. They reached Sushila's place where they ate some bhujiyas. Bao had not eaten dinner, so at Vishnu's insistence he ate his dinner there, which subsequently created a ruckus. The next day, Bao and Alaba went to Grafton to escort Baba to Rosewood. On the way, Baba casually asked Bao, "What did you have for dinner last night?" For a few moments, Bao could not remember what he had eaten. Then he told Baba. Baba was highly displeased. "Why did you eat at Sushila's? You have disobeyed me." Bao protested. "There was no order about eating out." Alaba intervened, saying, "Yes, there was. I never take food at anyone's place." Baba castigated Bao bitterly as they walked to Jal Villa. Vishnu was just about to leave for marketing when Baba called him. Baba accused him also of disobedience, but he likewise gave the same reply as Bao. Alaba, however, insisted there had been a breach of obedience, that Baba had given orders not to eat out. Vishnu became angry and told Alaba sharply, "You are lying." Baba took Alaba's side. This emboldened Alaba, and he replied, "It is not me, but you who are a liar." A heated war of words was exchanged between Alaba and Vishnu, and Baba thoroughly enjoyed the altercation. In his fury, Vishnu told Alaba, "If you utter any more lies, you shameless Irani, I will give you a good kick." "And do you think I won't retaliate?" Alaba shouted. "I'll crack your skull." Turning his back, Vishnu stomped away and left on his bicycle for shopping in the bazaar. Baba again blamed Bao. "It is all your fault," he said. "You are the cause of this quarrel. Because of you it took place. You do not obey. Alaba obeys me." Feeling encouraged and proud, Alaba said, "I am very angry with Vishnu. Let us face each other man to man and fight it out." Baba sent Bao to Rosewood to call Pendu, Erich, and Nilu, who were told what happened. They agreed that there was no order not to eat bhujiyas or not to eat out. After a long debate, Baba remarked, "Such things give me a headache. I permitted you to go out, and now, whether you are right or wrong in what you say, it has become a major headache for me." All of the Mandalay replied, "So we won't go out." "I don't mind if you go out, but I don't want any headaches." How to ensure this? Eventually, the permission was rescinded, and this was what, in fact, Baba wanted all along. He did not like the Mandali moving about freely and wished to cancel the privilege. Baba complained, "How troubled I am now. Alaba is so infuriated he wants to fight Vishnu. If his temper does not cool down, there will surely be a fist fight. This is the result of my allowing you to go out. Now, how should I deal with Alaba?" Eric suggested, half joking, send him to Mahabaleshwar for a few days where it is cool. He will also cool down by then. His going alone is not safe, Baba replied seriously. In his excited condition, he is liable to do anything. The result was that Erich, who himself was secretly longing for a break, accompanied Alaba to Mahabaleshwar for a short stay. This entire episode was nothing more than an excuse for Baba to stop the Mondalis going out of Rosewood, and the ruse worked quite well. On Wednesday, 16 March 1955, Baba fasted for 24 hours, taking only a cup of milkless coffee during that time. Baba wished to return to Kuldabad for the purpose of his inner work, and Adi Sr.'s brother-in-law, Dr. Ranade of Aurangabad, was instructed to reserve the guest house there for 3 weeks. Whenever Baba went to Aurangabad or Kuldabad, Dr. Anada would make all the required reservations for his accommodation. Preparations for going to Kuldabad began, and Kumar was called from Dehradun and arrived on the 16th. On the 18th morning, Baba signed approximately 500 title pages of the book God Speaks, soon to be published in America. Side note says the signing of the title pages was to raise funds to pay for the printing of the book. Although Dodd Mead of New York was the publishing company, Sufism Reoriented and other donors financed God Speaks. The initial price of the book was $5 and $25 for an autographed copy. End of note. As Mani described in a letter to Max Hefliger, he signed it all in one morning. With such speed, it was all that four of us could do to keep up with him, whisking off one page, sliding in the next, etc. As mentioned, Baba began dictating God Speaks in Dehradun in 1953 with the assistance of Erich, fulfilling the role of Baba's scribe for several months. Later, Bao coordinated the typing of Erich's handwritten pages. Bao was also responsible for organizing the book into chapters. In September 1954, the manuscript was turned over to Lud Dimphel to deliver to Ivy and Don Stevens in America for editing and printing. In December of that year, Mani wrote to Ivy, "It is Baba's particular wish to give this book of his the widest and best distribution, the best publisher possible, that its tremendous value will be recognized later as the direct words of God." After Ivy and Don Stevens had begun their preliminary work, correspondence began between Mani and Ivy regarding the preparation and publication of the book. Ivy and Don also sent questions about passages that seemed ambiguous or incomplete. To these, Baba replied through Mani, and several of Baba's answers were included in the first edition, either as footnotes or, in one case, as a lengthy quote in the supplement. After they had done some editing of grammar and punctuation, the manuscript was mailed to India for Baba to check and correct, and to add any additional points of interest. In the end, it was Erich, Ramju, and Bao who did the final corrections according to Baba's instructions. The following is a letter from Mani to Ivy in 1955, describing how Baba checked the manuscript of God Speaks. Dear Ivy, returning herewith the remaining half of the supplement. entire. The delay in returning this has been unavoidable, as will be noted from the corrections and additions Baba has had made. Some of the pages needing many corrections or overhauling, as pages 279, 284, 289, 294, footnote for 297, 302, 311, or complete editions such as 270, one there to 270. Same number, six. Huh. Um, have been retyped in blue. Baba has wanted me to type the notes as taken down and worked on by Ramju and Erich under Baba's direction and guidance. He therefore wants you to note these pages carefully and make all necessary grammatical corrections or alteration in the English for greater clarity or expression, keeping the sense entire. Your original pages, corrected, are attached correspondingly to the freshly typed ones. On many other pages, the corrections were done in red pencil, red or blue ink, not retyped for lack of time, and the Mondelez concerned with to convey their regrets about these corrections not being inserted more tidily. One of the reasons being great rush of and lack of time, especially in the case of Erich, who had also to see to his other multifarious duties in spite of. And Ramju working on it far into the night at times. And I'll pause the recording for changing the reader. Okay, resuming with Marvin.
1955, in Satara. The contents were read out to Baba by Erich with Ramju to help incorporate points in question, and another Hindu disciple, Bao, playing a strange role for overcoming the impossibility of conveying through ordinary gestures the terms or names in Sufism or Vedantism, and sometimes a work or essence not to be grasped through Baba's patiently repeated gestures. Baba would have the Hindu disciple recite the alphabet A, B, C, D, etc., stopping him with raised hand when he had reached the first alphabet of the word Baba had in mind. Starting all over again, Baba would stop him at the second letter, and so on laboriously, until the work or sense or sentence was complete. This is why it took so much time to return it to you. Baba worked 4 to 5 hours at it daily, listing, correcting, adding. I am only writing this for I know it will interest you and Don Stevens to know. Now, in spite of his self-imposed handicaps, Baba has minutely attended to this book that you both are working on wholeheartedly. I think it would have done dear Ghani's heart good to see the numerous points Baba has corrected, changed, and added. I also see now more than ever why Baba wished the supplement ascribed to the efforts of some of the disciples. You will be happy to note, I am sure, that Baba has touched on your question of a previous letter regarding angels and archangels in the new 6 pages Baba has added. I have added a footnote, for I think it is interesting. It is from remarks made by Baba at the time Don and I were working on Ghani's material, but he would not say more. I have read it to Baba, and he says it's okay, but won't add to it, saying that the subject would make a volume in itself. Do not put in. I also remember his saying something about the brainy inventions made on our earth are usually by some soul reincarnating from one of the other 2 worlds. but I am really not at all sure about this, so I have not put it in, and Baba seemed tired and disinclined to answer more. Do correct the English of the footnote as necessary, dear Ivy. I do not know if a better explanation or line is necessary for the expression head and heart. Anyway, I leave it to you. Put it in if you like, or and as you like. Manisha. Picture of Baba writing. Probably signing something since he doesn't write it.
Yeah, maybe he's signing the title pages that were.
Mm, right, for God
Mm,
speaks. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep, that's what it says. Monday, 21 March 1955, was the Irani New Year of Jamshed-e Navroz. On this festival, it is customary to have a sweet, cool drink made with milk called faluda. When Baba came to Rosewood, he told Bao to go back to Grafton to bring the drink for the Mandali. Bao thought some servant would be there to carry the large pot of liquid, but as soon as he arrived, two women servants lifted the pot onto his head. It was so heavy they had trouble lifting it. Grafton was about 600 feet from Rosewood, and in between was the house of the property manager, Sorabji Damania, who had deep respect for Baba. Sorabji knew Bao and was friendly with him. Bao was embarrassed by doing such menial labor and fervently hoped he would not come across Sorabji just then. Although his neck was bent and his shoulders arched under the weight, he was glad that today Baba was kind, in that Sorabji was not seen on the road. But just as he was thinking this, Sorabji appeared from a side lane and offered his namaskar greeting to Bao. Bao felt ashamed, but Sorabji did not linger and went on his way. Bao began thinking that Baba had not only made him labor much, but had also made him face this awkward situation. He arrived at Rosewood, where Pendu and Erich lifted the burden from his head. Was the pot heavy? Baba asked. Before Bao could reply, Erich interposed. It is very heavy. Pendu observed. One would break his back were one to carry such a load for long. Baba asked Bao, did anyone see you on the way? Only Sorabji, Bao lamented. Seeing the expression on Bao's face, the men burst out laughing. And Baba asked, did you feel ashamed? Very much so. How will you obey me if you feel ashamed by being seen by others? You will act according to the ways of the world and not according to me. He who has thought for me does not care for the world. I will see to your sense of shame in Kuldabad. Baba then ladled out a portion of the faluda into a small pot and told Bao to take it to Sorabji. He did so, and Sorabji asked him, don't you have any servants to carry such a heavy load? We are all servants of Baba, Bao said. It is our good fortune that Baba assigns us such work. When he returned, Baba asked Sorabji what Sorabji had said, and Bao reported it. Baba advised him, learn to live like a stone. People trample on it, and in the form of an idol also worship it. But is the stone affected thereby? Not in the least. Whether it is kicked, spit upon, or worshipped, it remains unaffected. All of you should consciously be like the stone. You will attain the goal of life if you become like a stone. Easier said than done. That
No
same
kidding.
evening at 6 p.m., 21 March, Baba, with Pendu, Baidul, Bao, and Kumar, left Satara for Kuldabad in Adi Senior's car driven by Erich. They stopped briefly at Sarosh Motor Works in Ahmednagar at 2 a.m., where Baba met Ali Sr. and instructed him to continue the work of spreading his name far and wide. He asked for a bottle of orange soda, which Savak Damania managed to bring. In Kuldabad, according to Baba's instructions, they were met by Shagan from Ahmednagar and Sidhu and the Must Ali Shah from Mehrabad. In Kuldabad, Baba began working with Ali Shah during the day and spent the nights in various tombs and shrines in seclusion. One night he sat with Erich near the tomb of Qutub Zazari Zar Baksh, and in the morning at the tomb of Burhanuddin, while the others kept the watch. I think Zazari was one of Sai Baba's masters. On one occasion, Baba wanted to hear Qawwali singing, so Erich and Pendu went to Aurangabad and arranged for a qawwal after agreeing to a price. The qawwal came to Kuldabad that evening with a tabalchi, a tabla player, but seeing him, all burst out laughing. From his face, it looked as if he was about to drop off to sleep. He was tired from having sung in Aurangabad for the last 3 nights. The qawwal started at 8 p.m., but he could barely sing due to exhaustion. Baba sent him out for tea, and in his absence remarked to Pendu and Erich, "I wanted to hear Qawwali. And what sort of qawwal have you brought?" Bal then gave the man and his partner a tablet to keep awake. And it worked wonders. Bal had never in his life heard such singing before or since. The qawwal sang until 4 a.m., and by that time the Mandali were thoroughly overcome. Baba was glowing, and wine poured from his features. All were intoxicated and derived the greatest pleasure from listening to the music.
Want to take a break and
Yeah, that's it. That's a good idea. Get a little
yeah,
coffee.
yeah, have a little coffee. In Kuldabad, Chuggan cooked and Bidal prepared the tea. Both were at constant loggerheads, but they fought only in the kitchen, and their dispute was not broadcast. Chuggan was an excellent cook, and Bidal only mediocre. The cause of the strife was that Bidal would try to make suggestions to Chuggan about his cooking. Bao had to do Baba's personal work. He and Kumar washed Baba's clothes. Bao and Erich helped Baba with his morning wash, after which, while the other Mandali members had their tea, Bao cleaned out Baba's commode, swept his room, spread the bedding in the sun, refilled Baba's drinking water, and thereafter got his tea. Because Ba was late every day, Baidul would become very upset with him, though he knew well that Ba was attending to Baba's chores first. Still he abused him. One day he even roughly manhandled Bao. He caught hold of the front of Bao's shirt and gave him a hard slap. "Am I your father's servant?" Baidul asked, irate. "That I have to keep tea waiting for you?" Such was the type of life one had to lead with Baba. Baba's orders were there, and one had to follow them, despite facing uncomfortable situations. At every step, one had to overcome obstacles until one was broken into pieces. This was the state of those living with Baba, living while dying every moment. Baba had said he would deal with Bao's shame in Kuldabad, and this is what he had meant. Having finished his inner work in 1 week rather than 3, Baba left Kuldabad for Satara by way of Meherazad and Ahmednagar on Monday, 28 March 1955. Sidhu took Ali Shah back to Meherabad, and Chuggan returned home to Ahmednagar. In Meherazad, Kaka kept everything neat and clean, as if Baba were residing there. So Baba did not mind paying a quick visit there without prior notice. Baba again met Adi Sr. and Savak Damania briefly in Ahmednagar when his car stopped for gas at Sarosh Motor Works. Mani wrote to the Westerners, Baba returned from Kuldabad looking wan and very tired from the strain of long hours of special concentrated work he did there. On Baba's return to Satara, Kohiyar Satarawala was told to select and keep ready 100 poor working class men and women in Mahabaleshwar, and he did so with the help of Sahasrabuddha. Baba went to Mahabaleshwar on Thursday, 7 April 1955 with Erich, Pendu, Bao, Baidul, and Kumar, and, as was his custom, washed the feet of the poor, bowed down to them, and gave each 10 rupees as prasad. Baba then stopped at Panchgani, where, in his Tiger Valley cave, Pleader had been staying in seclusion for several months. Baba saw him and instructed Pleader to remain there until June, and after that stated he would advise Pleader further. Baba then returned to Satara. Later, Baba said that he wished to preserve the spot where the Tiger Valley cave was located, and if possible, to buy the land. But this could not be arranged. The following day was Good Friday. Baba and the men and women Mandali observed a partial fast. After everyone had fasted for a day, Baba came once to the Mandali's bungalow and oversaw the preparation of dahan sak with a vegetable called shioga. The Mandali cleaned the rice and vegetable, while Baba himself cooked the dish. It was the tastiest dahan sak they had ever eaten while they were cooking. Baba, for his own reason, made Bao wash his hands at least 20 times. Upon his return to Satara, Baba dictated his decision regarding the final declaration, which was issued as a circular on Sunday, 10 April 1955. This universe has come out of God. God has not come out of the universe. Illusion has come out of reality. Reality has not come out of illusion. God alone is real. The universe by itself is illusion. God's life lived in illusion as the avatar and as perfect masters is not illusory, whereas God's life lived in creation as all animate and inanimate beings is both real and illusory. Illusion, illusory life, and God's life in illusion are not and cannot be one and the same. Illusion has no life and can have no life. Illusion is illusion and is nothing by itself. Illusory life means life in illusion, and though it is life as experienced by the soul in creation, it is illusory life. But God's life lived in illusion is not illusory because, in spite of living the illusory life, God remains conscious of his own reality. God is absolutely independent, and the universe is entirely dependent upon God. Yet when the perfect masters effect the descent of God on earth as the avatar, they make reality and illusion interdependent, each upon the other. And thus it is that his infinite mercy and unbounded love are eternally drawn upon by those who are immersed in illusion. Between God and the universe, infinite mercy and unbounded love act as a prominent link which is eternally made use of by men who become God, Sadgurus, perfect masters, or Kutubs, and by God who becomes man, Avatar, Christ, Rasul, and so the universe becomes the eternal playmate of God. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording to change the reader. So, resuming with Marvin.
Through this prominent link, the Avatar not only established life in his divine play, but also established law in illusion. And this law, being established by the God Man or Avatar, is the law of the lawless infinite. And it is eternally real and at the same time illusory. It is this law that governs the universe. All its ups and downs, construction and devastation are guided by this law. At this cyclic period, God's independent absoluteness is made to work upon this law by the God Man as God's will. This means that anything and everything that the Avatar wills is ordained by God. Consequently, all that I stated in the final declaration and confirmation is ordained by God and must and will happen. I was in Kuldabad for nearly a week from the 22nd of March. There, night and day, I did my work most intensively. The intensity of my spiritual work caused great pressure on my physical body and mind. And it was there that I decided that all that I had declared in my final declaration must come to pass exactly in the same sequence and with the same intensity of effect, but with modification in the time factor. Therefore, with change in the time limit, the intensity, scope, shape, and size of the chain of events will take place without any moderation whatsoever to bring into effect the destined plan. In the meantime, mankind must await, as it must according to my final decision, the witnessing of all that is to come to pass, as ordained by God. This is the time when man must love God more and more. Let him live for God and let him die for God. In all his thoughts, in all his words, and in all his actions, love for God alone must prevail. End of message. As mentioned, Ramju Abdullah and his family were residing in Satara, and Ramju came daily to see Baba. His sister-in-law, Haja, had been a constant visitor to Baba when the family lived in Nasik. Once Haja said to someone, "I am so beautiful, even Baba is in love with me." Coming to know of it, Baba instructed her not to show her face to him for the rest of her life. Accordingly, though she lived in Satara, she did not even come to meet Baba once. From Bombay, Ramju's son, Ali, 25, was writing long letters about Baba to his father. His doubts about Baba's divinity remained. Once during Baba's stay in Satara, Ali visited from Bombay. Ali fell ill, and one evening Ramju took medicine for him from Dr. Nilu. The next day, Baba asked Nilu, "What did you do last evening?" Nilu reported, but Baba inquired, "Nothing else?" Nilu then remembered Ramju's visit and told Baba about Ali being sick. Baba remarked, "He will surely die by your medicine. He cannot be saved now." All day long, Baba went on declaring the same thing. While at home, Ali was recovering. When Ramju told Ali about it, he was greatly impressed. But on his return to Bombay, Ali reverted to his previous misgivings and wrote a letter to his father, which Ramju showed to Baba. Baba asked him to call Ali to Satara, and he came one afternoon to Rosewood. Baba asked him, "Are you a good man?" Ali did not reply, and Baba remarked to Ramju, "You were saying Ali is very clever. He seems to be quite stupid." Baba then asked, "Have you read the Gita?" "No," Ali said. "In the Gita, Quran, and Bible, the same thing is repeated. Everyone has to surpass both good and evil. Good is as much a stack of hay as bad. I set fire to both. Knowledge cannot be attained without their burning to ashes." Baba asked Ali, "Do you love me?" "Yes, I think so," he replied truthfully. "When I can't love you, how could you love me?" Baba teased. Baba told him, "Even if the whole world is throwing stones at me and you feel that your Baba, is God, then hold on to your faith. But if the whole world is bowing at my feet and you feel that your Baba is not Baba, then stick to your conviction." After this meeting, Ali was drawn close to Baba, and gradually all his doubts disappeared. Meanwhile, lovers from the West were sending letters to Satara requesting clarification about Baba's circle. So from 20 April 55, over a period of several days, Baba gave this discourse, which Mani typed and sent to the West at the end of that month. Sidebar.
Says, according to Adele Walken, it was Billy Eaton who wrote to Baba requesting clarification about the circle. End of note.
And the message was, absolute oneness prevails in reality. Space and time are but illusory. They are merely the effect of the reflection of God's infinitude. When man realizes reality, the reflection which has estranged him from reality vanishes, and he experiences the absoluteness of the absolute oneness of God. And when such a man continues to live his life in illusion, he leads the life of the man God, or perfect master on earth. With his abiding experience of the absolute reality, he serves as the pivot around which rotates the entire cosmic universe. Every point in the cosmos is equidistant from the perfect master, who abides in illusion as the nucleus of the cosmos. Although the perfect master remains in illusion as the center of the cosmic periphery and radiates his influence uniformly over the entire universe, in his lifetime he gathers around him 12 men who directly have their center of interest in his individuality. These men, through their constant and close association with him in the past, right from the evolutionary stages of consciousness, reap the greatest benefit now when their past close associate has become a perfect master. Such a group of 12 men is called the circle of a perfect master. However, besides this group of 12 men, there is an appendage of 2 women to complete the circle of a perfect master in all its aspects. These 2 women also owe their position in regard to the circle to their past connection with the perfect master. One or more of these 14 close ones associated with the perfect master realizes the God state during or after the lifetime of the master, and in some instances after one or a few more incarnations. However, the perfect master fulfills his obligations by establishing his circle during his lifetime, and the greatest good he bestows is God realization with all its perfection to at least one from among his circle of 12 men. In the case of the avatar, it is different. He has 10 circles in all. The first or inner circle of the avatar consists of 12 men with an appendage of 2 women, and each of the following 9 outer circles consists of 12 persons, both men and women. In all, there are 120 persons in the 10 circles of the avatar, plus the 2 women of the inner circle, who are but the appendage to that particular circle. 122 in all. Either one or more of the 108 members of the 9 outer circles realize the God state during or after the lifespan of the avatar, and some in the next incarnation or after a few more incarnations. As in the case of the perfect master circle, the inner circle of the avatar consists of only 12 men with an appendage of 2 women. The difference between the circle of the perfect master and the inner circle of the avatar is that the perfect master establishes his circle from among those who were closely connected with him, right from the evolutionary stages of their consciousness. But the avatar, who in his recurrent advents neither passes through the process of evolution, reincarnation, nor involution, does not therefore have the same links of association to establish anew his inner circle with every advent.
Go ahead, Marvin.
In short, whereas the perfect master establishes his circle, the avatar is directly allied with his inner circle, which is always the same in regards to roles in all his advents. With his descent on earth, the avatar, as it were, brings along with him the association of his inner circle. The connection of the inner circle in relation to the avatar may be compared to that of a man who directly associates himself with the 14 parts of his own body: 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, 2 hands, 2 legs, and the trunk of the body itself, plus the external genitals and anus that act as the appendage to the body as a whole. As soon as a man is born, he directly makes use of these 14 parts of his body, and these parts in turn respond to his dictates individually and collectively. Similarly, with the advent of the avatar on earth, his inner circle of the same 12 types of individuals and the appendage of the same 2 individualities directly begin to function individually and collectively according to the dictates of the avatar himself. With every advent of the avatar on earth, the 12 men of the inner circle and its appendage of 2 women gather round the personality of the avatar as the self-same 14 types of individualities, who in their shape of different personalities always occupy their respective offices when the avatar manifests on earth. And during and after the lifespan of the avatar, they individually and collectively function in the same way as their predecessors, who had held and functioned in the same offices of the inner circle during the past advents of the avatar. Therefore, it would not be wrong to say that with Christ coming again, come Peter, Judas, and all his apostles. But this could never mean that the very same Peter or the self-same Judas reincarnates again and again. These can never incarnate because all of the 12 individual personalities of the avatar's inner circle attain God realization in every avataric period, either during or soon after the lifespan of the avatar. Once God realization is attained, reincarnation is impossible. The only exception to this rule is the avatar himself, who comes again and again to redeem humanity. It is not the same individual personalities of the inner circle that reincarnate. It is the individualities of their particular offices that come with every advent of the avatar. Is because In all the Avatar's advents, each of the 12 men and 2 women of the inner circle holds exactly the same office and function in exactly the same manner. That is why it is said that the Avatar always brings with him the same circle. As soon as the veil, the Vidnayani sanskaras, with which the Avatar descends on earth, is rent by the then living perfect master or masters, and the Avatar realizes his avatarhood, the 12 men and 2 women automatically group round the personality of the Avatar to occupy their respective position in the inner circle and to function as usual according to the dictates of the Avatar of the age. The position of the Avatar in regard to the inner circle and its function may be compared to a man asleep. As soon as the man is made to wake up through some external agency, and no sooner is he awake than he spontaneously finds that all the 14 parts of his body, as mentioned before, are already there in their individual roles, ready to function at the slightest wish of the man. Similarly, as soon as the Avatar is made to realize his avatarhood through one or more of the 5 perfect masters of the time, he also realizes that the 14 personalities in their characteristic roles of the inner circle are ready at hand to discharge their duties. To explain in detail why only these 14 particular personalities hold such positions in every advent of the Avatar would take a volume of explanations. Who can become the 14 members, and how do they become attached to the inner circle of the Avatar? These questions would require more volumes of explanations. Suffice it to say that each of these 14 particular personalities, when occupying the office and function of the inner circle, not only must resemble the characteristic individuality of his or her predecessor in the previous advents of the Avatar, but must be exactly similar in all respects. For example, one of the offices of the inner circle of Jesus Christ was held by Peter. At the second advent of Christ, this particular office must be held by another Peter, who may be named A, but having the same quality of mind and heart and other characteristics as the Peter.
Side note says during the Muhammad, Abu Bakr represented the role of Peter. Abu Bakr was the father of one of Muhammad's wives, Aisha. He is known as the first successor of the Prophet, though he reigned only 2 years before his death in 634 AD. End of note.
The same applies to the office held by Judas, John, James, etc., of the inner circle in the time of Christ. All the 14 members of the Avatar's inner circle realize God by the grace of the Avatar during the same Avataric period, which is of 100 years duration after the manifestation of the Avatar on Earth. Regarding the outer circles of the Avatar, none of the 108 persons in the 9 circles holds any office similar to that held by those of the inner circle. And all of these 108 persons attain God realization by the grace of the Avatar, but not necessarily during the Avataric period. These 108 persons of the outer circles have their respective places in the 9 circles in accordance with their past connections with the members of the circle ahead of them. For example, the members of the second circle of the 12 persons next to the inner circle are grouped around the Avatar in accordance with their past connections with the members of the inner circle. Similarly, the 12 persons of the third circle next to the second circle are grouped around the Avatar in accordance with their past connections with the members of the second circle, and so on with all the remaining 7 circles. The number of men and women in each circle is as follows. First, 12 men and 2 women. Second, 8 men and 4 women. Third, 4 men and 8 women. Fourth, 8 men and 4 women. Fifth, 4 men and 8 women. Sixth, 8 men and 4 women. Seventh, 8 men and 4 women. Eighth, 8 men and 4 women. Ninth, well, actually 10th.
They
Uh,
they
they
missed
missed one.
seventh.
They
Yeah.
missed 7th, yeah. And 10th is 10 men and 2 women. So many are equal and a few aren't. Baba convened a small group in Rosewood. Oh, you know what? You want to stop it here?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, thanks. Uh,
Yeah, 11:59, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.